lipstick is calling, don't bother, Angel. I know exactly what goes on.
Welcome everyone to J-Bomb's Predictions. I'm your host, J-Bomb. This week I'm going to do something a little bit different. Instead of writing down a script and penning some of my puns and jokes, I'm going to go all Lil Wayne on you people and just do this freestyle. In fact, I haven't even looked at any of the matchups yet before making this recording. And don't expect any pictures to actually match up with my words because I'm very rushed this morning. I'm going to Michigan for a wedding, and that means I'm going to pick everybody who has a line on their team. Just kidding. Let's get to the predictions. Well, let's see. The first one we have is Ando versus Jeff. Now, both of these teams suffered disappointing losses last week. Jeff actually made an improbable comeback with Tom Brady, while Ando was up for most of the game with me, but managed to fall just a little bit short. While Jeff's team, I think, is relatively impressive, the reason why Ando's team didn't win last week was because Matt Ryan did not throw any touchdown passes, especially to his secret weapon, Roddy White. I expect him to throw at least one, if not two touchdowns, which should easily clinch the game for Ando, a team I think is very much in the driver's seat. Let's see. Predicted score, Ando 126, Jeff 103. The next matchup I'm randomly picking is Josh versus Mike, two teams that are 1-0 after relatively impressive starts. Josh, I think, had a really good week because Michael Vick, Ray Rice, Hightower, Bush, and the like had really good games. But Mike's team has somebody who I really do like, and that's Matt Stafford. And as long as Stafford has a similar game he did last week, and as long as Tolbert and Foster actually play worth a damn, I expect that Josh's 1-0 undefeated streak will be short-lived. Predicted score, Mike 96, Josh 92. Last week I managed to come back in very impressive fashion, mainly thanks to the exploits of Run DMC, Josh Freeman, Ahmad Bradshaw, and Andre Johnson. This week I have a little bit of a challenge in that the quarterback that throws to Andre Johnson is on my opponent's team, Scott's team. And Scott's team, I think, is pretty good, especially with his running back core and his wide receivers. But this week I think that Brandon Marshall and McGahee, the Vulture, come in big, allowing me to get yet another win in my road to a second straight division championship. Predicted score, J-Bomb 103, Scott 92. The team that probably laid the biggest egg last week was defending champion Kevin's team. He scored, I believe, either the first or the second to last least points, and it showed that drafting a bunch of people in the third round can be very risky. And I think that's going to show again this week when John's team pretty much dismantles him again with people like Rivers, Peterson, Fred Jackson, and James Starks in the mix. I think all of them have good games, and they make up for, I think, Kevin's better than average receiving core. Predicted score in this game, John 86, Kevin 72. In another matchup that features two undefeated teams, we have, I think, the surprise winner of last week, Matt Weinberg, and a team that I think skated by due to a low score on the other end, Doug Comas. This game will be pretty interesting because it'll be worth noting to see if Aaron Rodgers can follow up on his really good performance. Doug doesn't have any Packers except Jordy Nelson. Okay, so that last statement was kind of false. If Jordy Nelson catches a lot of touchdowns, then I think Doug wins this game because I think as a whole his team is better. But I expect Wes Welker to come up with a 300-yard touchdown to dash the hopes of people, including me, and causing people to roll on the floor and cry and do the dirty bird with Ludacris. Final score, Matt 115, Doug 100. And I believe the last one that I need to do is David versus Tom. Tom, both of these teams lost last week. David is a defending runner-up. Tom's team suffered a relatively disappointing start. But it should be noted that some of his players, I think, really came on in the second game. Tony Romo had a great game. Sebastian Janikowski is just a awesome drunk Polish dude. And I think that LeGarrette Blount's complaining will get him more carries. And if that happens, and if DJ Kareem doesn't vulture Maurice Jones-Drew, I see Tom bouncing back in a big way, which will allow him to once again like fantasy football after pretty much giving up hope last week. Final score, or final predicted score, Tom 100, David 92. That's it for this week. Tune in again next week when hopefully I will have my SHT together in J-Bomb's annual predictions. Heyo!